Hi Chris, great to meet up with you as always and do some work on your game. Just a quick recap on the key points that we covered. I thought this was a great session. Obviously not played a lot of golf recently due to circumstances. And not a bad time to look at a different area of the swing or an area we've worked on before, but looking at it from a different perspective maybe. We'd spent a lot of time working on the accumulators during this session and how they fire. So what we discussed was that in the initial swings, the P4 on the left is a little bit flat. It was your first swing of the day. As you got warmed up, the butt of the club started to raise a little bit, and the P4 was looking a lot tidier over on the right. So don't read too much into the top of the backswing position that you see there on the left. However, accumulator 4 and accumulator 1 would start firing or releasing from P4. Now, if you're someone who hangs on to the accumulators too much and the head translates back and you get stuck underneath it because of that, that's not a bad feel. But as we discussed, the accumulators for me, the sequence is obviously 4 and 1 going first, followed by 2 and 3. But rather than 4 and 1 firing from P4, I prefer to see them, looking at the model at least, firing more from maybe P5. P4 to P5 is created by, so the left arm gets parallel due to the body getting back into flexion, the hips and the pelvis returning to their address flex. So I think for you, accumulator 1 and 4 fire too soon and are directed downwards too much. So left arm starts moving away from the right shoulder a little bit too soon, working down a little bit too much. Right shoulder, right elbow stays behind you too much. And then, once we get into this position, trying to sort of turn the corner, if you will, from sort of P6 onwards, trying to turn this corner in the downswing just becomes, too big of an ask. It's something that we're always trying to improve our ability to do. I see the right shoulder working down a little bit too much. I see the chest facing the camera for a little bit too long, etc., etc. So you can make it work. You'd have to give it the full Jim Furix from here to do that. Very often, in an attempt to do that, you just get stuck. The butt of the club raises a little bit too fast. Arms go out. Allied that to a setup where you're quite close to it, and you start getting the Healy strikes and one or two of the unmentionables. So the change that we made, obviously we talked about what the accumulators were doing. We talked about the idea of going from 4 to 5 without firing accumulator 4 and 1. So here I'm asking you to, the advice on this one was to actually, from P4, flex forward as much as you can for as long as you can. So what tends to happen now is the body works differently. The right shoulder comes down and forward towards the ball a little bit more. The right arm and left arm, accumulator 1 and 4, don't release as fast. So 4 to 5 really there is just the body getting back into flexion. We haven't seen a massive change in the relationship between left arm and right shoulder. The right elbow doesn't get stuck behind us quite as much. So you just make that out there, it's a little bit shaded, but right elbow is here as opposed to sort of stuck in behind us, the one on the left. You can see at P6 now, right elbow again, a little bit more in front of the right hip, not as much behind the right hip. Sweet spot certainly more in line with the hands. Right knee's got back into flexion more, which you said was a sort of, a key feel for you. Much more chest onto the golf ball rather than chest facing the camera. More in line with the swing. Much easier to turn the corner. You can see the arms don't get thrown out quite as fast. and the exit starts to get controlled a little bit more. So the main thing was from P4 to P6, and the sequencing, or trying to line P6 up more. And what I like about the swing on the right is that the arms are firing or the accumulators are working in a better sequence and in a better direction. You can see the movement on the left, arms work too soon and downwards too much. Whereas the swing on the right, accumulator 4 is being sort of taken to P5 by the forward flexion, by the right shoulder working down and towards the ball, by the hips regaining or the pelvis regaining its forward bend. Then as the accumulators start to release, they're a little bit more out in front of you as opposed to being sort of stuck behind you. So great session, really nice progress. Subtle changes, but had a really good impact on your ball flight and your ability to find the centre of the club face. Hope the match play went well. I've made a little note in the diary. I will forward some dates to you regarding a game of golf in sort of August, September time, when we both start to calm down a little bit. Good luck with it, keep in touch, and look forward to doing some more work in about 4 weeks' time. Well done.